For some odd reason, people think it's strange to guard their heart. If I were to take a knife in my hand and try to stab somebody's heart, wouldn't the automatic response be to guard their heart? I think it's important to for a man or a woman to guard their heart. And not let somebody harm their heart. I've seen too many times where people have been forced to do what they didn't want to end up doing, and it ended up being emotionally, it ended up being abusive. And the ones that enjoyed inflicting the pain, the ones who enjoyed being predators, had absolutely no remorse for what they were doing. None, not a zilch. And in fact took pleasure out of harming people. One of my favorite paintings deals with the word Schadenfreude. And I think people should look at that painting. I really do. And in fact, the monks in the painting that were laughing at the one that was at the man who was struggling were enjoying the man struggling, and they were laughing at it, at the man. Who is the one with the real problem? The one that refused to help the man and laughed at the man that was struggling? I mean, think about that. Who was the one with the rotten fruits? The ones laughing at the man? It could have been women sitting there and laughing at a woman. It could have been a combination of men and women laughing at a man or a woman. What it is they had no remorse for their actions. They thought it was funny. But if they had been in that situation and needed help, then they would not have liked being laughed at. They would not have liked being taken advantage of. They would not have liked being conned. They would not have liked being hoodwinked. which also deals with the betrayal bond. It was about 2 years ago. I was reading some stuff, and there's something called betrayal lines in people's faces. And I was like, whoa. Um, so sometimes people don't even have to say what's happened to them, that it's basically written in their faces. I mean, I was looking at the betrayal lines on my face, and it's like, whoa. Not only do I have betrayal lines, but I also the lines are deep in my face. Just because somebody's face looks all perfect does not mean that they're up to any good. It most definitely does not mean that they're up to any good. Just like when somebody lies and says that they didn't hear the phone ring. I mean, when you detect bullshit, there's no reason to give them to give somebody like that a second or third chance. There's no reason to. That they made a choice to chances are, if somebody like that has been lying, then the people that they've been lying to, it's they're basically pathological liars. And they chose to have rotten fruits. They chose to have rotten fruits. There's no doubt in my mind that especially since some of them have bragged about having rotten fruits, that they chose that path. It doesn't mean it's the path that I would have chosen. Mm-mm. It's just like the ones that enjoy hazing people don't enjoy being hazed, but yet they feel entitled to haze people. The ones who typically are the bullies don't like to be bullied, but yet they feel entitled to bully people. The ones who are intentionally deceiving people know that they're deceiving people. They made a conscientious decision to be that way. They made a choice to be that way. They made a choice. Um, if I was standing on top of a table and somebody wanted to pull me off the table, or if I wanted to pull them up on top of the table with me, what would it be easier to happen? Would it be easier for somebody to pull me off of the table? Or would it be easier for me to pull somebody up? Somebody who doesn't want to be, well, just think about the analogy of guarding the heart, and remember that when somebody is choosing to harm people, that they made a choice to do that. When somebody stands around and watches a bully somebody and doesn't tell a bully to stop bullying somebody, that they basically, their behaviors are screaming at what side they chose to be on. When somebody minimizes the devastation of rape or rape attempts and laughs about it, they made a choice to be on the side of the rapist or the attempted rapist. That those are just a few examples. Um, when somebody intentionally acts dumb when they're not dumb, when somebody acts deaf when they're not deaf, when somebody acts blind and they're not blind, um, they made a choice. When somebody chooses to laugh at people and chooses to destroy people's lives, that they made a choice. Um, just like when somebody chooses to uh chooses to act dumb and lies about being an empath when they're not. Look at the behaviors. Look at the behaviors. When somebody wants to act blind, when people have tears streaming down their eyes, and refuses to has no ability to put themselves in somebody else's shoes and to give a damn about people. Don't think that it's unrealistic to think that a burnt out light bulb can be changed into a light bulb that works. It's unrealistic to take a piece of burnt toast and to try to turn it into dough, DOUGH, that's never been cooked. It's like if I was going to make something on a potter's wheel. Um, one thing about making things out of clay is that there's a potter's wheel, and one of the things that people that know how to do what's called throwing something on a potter's wheel know how to do is cut off some clay and then wedge the clay. And what the wedging does is it gets the air pockets out of the clay, and then and then form a ball out of the clay, and then plop it on the potter's wheel, and then there's either a kick wheel or an electric wheel, but basically the ball of clay gets centered in the wheel, and then a certain amount of water is necessary in order to basically lubricate the hands so that so that it's kind of like the grease in the ball joints of a wheel and other things, that basically it allows the clay to be molded smoothly in the potter's hands. And what it is basically there's a whole process, but by going ahead and spinning the clay on the potter's wheel, what happens is that the clay is the particles of the clay, whatever it is. I'm not a chemist. Basically get lined up, and it basically strengthens the vessel. But what it is there's a whole series of steps that's necessary. Uh, and, and what it is the clay is taken off of the potter's wheel once the, whatever it is formed on the potter's wheel, and then it's allowed to air dry. And a certain amount of time has to pass in order for the clay to air dry. That's the greenware stage. And then my point is that people who know anything about throwing things on a potter's wheel don't necessarily take everything that they've made and put it in a kiln, KILN, in order to be fired or baked. And when something doesn't look right, then sometimes what a potter will do is take the pieces and crumble them up and basically have the clay get reconditioned. Um, instead of putting it into the kiln to be baked or fired.